Everyone thinks the Library of Alexandria burned down in one terrible night. That's not what happened. Not even close. Today we're going to uncover the real story of how the greatest library in the ancient world actually died. And spoiler alert, it wasn't a dramatic inferno. It was something much slower, much sadder, and way more complicated. Think of the Library of Alexandria like a grand mansion, not destroyed by one giant fire, but by 1,000 tiny fires, over hundreds of years. A leaky roof here, a broken window there, owners who stop caring, rooms that slowly empty out, until one day you walk past and realize the mansion is just an abandoned shell. That's what really happened to Alexandria. So let's start at the beginning. Around 300 years before Jesus was born, Alexander the Great conquered Egypt. He built a shiny new city on the coast, named it after himself, obviously, Alexandria. His generals took over after he died. One of them, Ptolemy, had a wild idea. He wanted to collect every book in the world, every scroll, every piece of knowledge humanity had ever written down. He built the Library of Alexandria to make that dream real. And it worked. For centuries, this place was the brain of the ancient world. Scholars came from everywhere. They studied math, astronomy, medicine, poetry. They translated texts from dozens of languages. They copied scrolls by hand, one letter at a time. At its peak, the library held maybe 500,000 scrolls. That's more knowledge than anywhere else on Earth. But here's where the first tiny fire starts. Maintaining a library is expensive, really expensive. You need scribes to copy scrolls before they rot. You need scholars to organize everything. You need guards, builders, and tons of money. The Ptolemies paid for all of that, for a while. Then Egypt started having problems. Wars with Rome, political chaos, broke treasuries. The rulers had less money to spend on dusty old scrolls. They had armies to fund instead. So the budget got cut, then cut again. Fewer scribes meant fewer scrolls got copied. Fewer scholars meant knowledge got lost. The mansion was still standing, but the roof was starting to leak. Now yes, there was a fire. In 48 BC, Julius Caesar was fighting a war in Alexandria. His troops set enemy ships on fire in the harbor. The flames spread to some warehouses near the docks. Some scrolls burned that day, maybe a lot of them. But the library itself, still standing, still operating. Scholars kept working there for centuries after Caesar's fire. That fire gets all the attention in movies and history class. But it was just one crack in the wall, not the whole collapse. Here's the twist you probably didn't expect. The library's biggest enemy wasn't fire at all. It was something way more boring: neglect. Scrolls are fragile. They're made from papyrus or animal skin. In Egypt's heat and humidity, they rot, they crumble, they get eaten by insects. If you don't constantly copy them onto fresh scrolls, the knowledge just vanishes. Without money, without scribes, that's exactly what happened. The library was bleeding knowledge every single year, one scroll at a time. Then Rome took over Egypt completely. The emperors didn't care much about Greek scholarship. They had their own libraries back in Rome. Alexandria became just another provincial city. Important, sure, but not special. The scholars started leaving. Why stay in a decaying library when you could work in Rome or Athens? The brain drain was brutal. Each scholar who left took their knowledge with them. By the time Christianity became Rome's official religion, the library was already a shadow of itself. Pagan temples got shut down. Some scholars got persecuted. The culture that had supported the library for centuries was disappearing. There might have been more fires over the years, maybe one in the 3rd century, maybe another later. But by then there wasn't much left to burn. The mansion was already mostly empty. By the time Arab armies conquered Egypt in the 7th century, the library was probably already gone. The famous story about the caliph burning the scrolls to heat bathhouses? Most historians think that's a myth. There were no scrolls left to burn. So what actually killed the Library of Alexandria? 1,000 small cuts. Budget cuts that stopped maintenance. Wars that scared scholars away. Natural decay that rotted scrolls faster than anyone could copy them. Shifting priorities as empires rose and fell. Religions that didn't value the same knowledge. No dragon, no villain, no single catastrophe. Just centuries of slow, grinding neglect. And here's the part that really matters. Did we lose most of human knowledge when Alexandria fell? No, because Alexandria fell slowly. Scholars had centuries to copy important texts and take them elsewhere. A lot of knowledge survived in other libraries across the Mediterranean. But yes, we definitely lost some things. Plays that were never copied. Scientific discoveries that vanished. Poems that nobody remembered. We'll never know exactly how much. That's the tragedy. The real lesson here isn't about fire. It's about what happens when societies stop investing in knowledge, when they stop copying, preserving, protecting, when they decide books matter less than armies or politics or the crisis of the moment. The Library of Alexandria died the way most important things die. Not in one dramatic moment, but in 1,000 quiet decisions to let things slide, to cut the budget, to look the other way, to assume someone else will handle it. So did we really lose most human knowledge in one fire? No, we lost it in 1,000 tiny fires we barely noticed. Budget cuts, rotting scrolls, empty chairs where scholars used to sit, a slow fade into nothing. And that's way scarier than any single blaze. If you want more stories about history that didn't happen the way you think, hit subscribe, because the truth is always stranger than the myth.